Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. Listen, it's ATC time about those comments. I uploaded a video with regard to if given that Kandi's net worth reportedly to be $30 million, if Todd had that net worth, would he have married Kandi? And the ladies, we kind of agree upon the answer. I'll say popular opinion. So real quick, I want to go over these few comments here, a lot here. Um, And I saw this when she was like, hey, I guess she didn't have time to be waiting. I want to find out. I want to know what you think. Is it a good idea to give a man an ultimatum? So here, Sappy Bean 5194 said, because of the divorce clips are now popping up on my timeline, he said Candy gave him an ultimatum that's why he proposed. So he said Candy gave him an ultimatum, that's why he proposed. Now, I understand people giving hints. I totally get it. But what I want to know is when you think about that, sometimes the ultimatums work, sometimes they don't. I've heard of women given an ultimatum, and that was a defining moment. The man was gone. So that made me think, okay, if you give an ultimatum and he leaves, then that right there, don't waste your time. You already know. So the question is, should women just maybe, wait and see if the guy proposes to you, and then if he doesn't propose, should women just go ahead and move on? Or should women say, hey, before I move on, let me give this guy an ultimatum and see what he says? Because I think sometimes, the more I think about it, you give somebody an ultimatum, that takes the romance out of it. You know what I mean? I just think when you get, a man asks you to marry him, it's nice to have that surprise. You know what I mean? It comes out of nowhere. It's like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? That's just me. And then I understand people investing their time. It's like, hey, when you have to ask, where are we going? That's normal. But it's making me think, is it a good idea to give an ultimatum? Because, if a man wants to get married, won't he just ask? They should know how to ask to go on a date. They should know how to ask to try to get with you, make those kind of moves. So if they know how to approach a woman to try to get with her for a date or to try to get intimate with you, is it not safe to say that these men also know how to propose to a woman? They'll, by hook or by crook, they'll do whatever they need to do to get with a woman. But when it comes to popping the question, hey, let's get married, then he's wearing cement shoes. So what do you think? Is it really a good idea? So if Candy had given him an ultimatum, I understand you don't want to waste time, like, hey, what's going on? Back in the day, before I got married, a guy before he proposed to me, and I wasn't really sure. Okay, I said, well, let's just wait, kind of give it some time. He gave me an ultimatum. He was like, I'm tired of playing house. What are we doing? And I can just tell you again, this is only my personal experience. When he gave me that ultimatum, it felt like pressure. Because guess what? Just like the men know, guess what? The women do too. Just like the men know, the women do too. So yeah, to me it felt like, oh, that ultimatum. Again, that's just my experience because I was kind of, really be honest, on the fence. I was like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying. I had some reservations there, which is also normal. But yeah, after that ultimatum, I thought about it and I began to really think about things. We had some differences as far as, like, family and kids and all, the idea, the expectation of that. And after the ultimatum, again, just my story personally, because we both had our own houses. Of course, I was in a little bungalow, okay, but he had a beautiful home that he had built from the ground. That ultimatum, I just knew it was time to go. I just knew. I thought about that. I knew it was time to go. So the question is, do you think Candy, not just Candy, but women in general, is it good to give a man an ultimatum, or should we see it as, hey, if he wants to marry me, he'll ask. If a man wants to go buy these Jordans and these J's to buy a car, he's gonna go ahead and buy it. He's going to do it. If he wants to buy a lottery ticket for this weekend, Powerball or what have you, the lottery, he's going to go ahead and do it. So is this any different? Should women give a man an ultimatum, or is it possible the fact that if you have to give an ultimatum, that, hey, as they say, the lack of the answer is the answer? So what do you all think about that? Also, Miss Live Laugh Love UK says it's a rhetorical question. Again, I'm asking if the roles were reversed and if he was worth $30 million as his net worth, would he have married Kandi? I don't think so. So, to answer the question, Miss Live Laugh Love from the UK says it's a rhetorical question. We know the answer. And Kandi should have asked herself the same question 12 or 13 years ago. If Kandi had asked herself that question, what do you think Kandi would have had as the answer? That's a very good point. Okay, then. HF2ZU said Todd would never marry. He didn't even know his daughter existed for 10 plus years. Dang. He also said, and I forgot about that, he also said when he met Kandi, he had just moved to Atlanta from New York and hadn't had fun yet before he got committed to her. So if that's the case with the ultimatum, why did you propose? What did the old girl say? Reportedly, and everything is always allegedly, he go where the money is. He go where the money is. Remember that when they had that little pajama party, and I think that's when Christopher Williams, old girl, was there, his girlfriend or companion, and it was Nene and everybody, the pajama party. Like, pretty much what he's saying, yo, going where the money is, looking, hey, looking for the next best deal. And with black women, when you're successful, it's like, man, probably quadruple hard to find a man on that level, because the stats don't lie. It's right before your very eyes. Time they get a lot of money, a lot of them, because they don't love themselves, looking for a black woman, they run. Most, from what I see, have the tendency to run. But black women, they'll be scraping. He can make $3 and she'll be making 85,000 a year. She done picked up a $3 dude. She'll be scraping the bottom of the barrel. Just scraping the bottom of the barrel. And that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get what you pulled up, bottom of the barrel joke. So yeah, this here isn't a good idea. So again, Savvy Bean says because of the divorce clips popping up, he said Kandi gave him an ultimatum. That's why he proposed. So is it a good idea to give a man an ultimatum? Maybe just, see if he proposes to you. And then if he doesn't, I say start exploring your options. You really don't have to give an ultimatum. If that's what you want, and, maybe you give a little hint at, not an ultimatum, oh, a ring would be nice on my finger. You know what I'm saying? Where are we going? So if he does not, unless he's a little slow, but if he doesn't get it, then I say you don't have to give an ultimatum. I say just start keeping your options open. If you ask the question, what do you see as, a few years from now, where is this going? Oh, I'm fine. You've been dating a man 2 and 3 years and he just fine, in the chill mode. Ladies, it's time to keep your options open. You don't have to give an ultimatum. I say keep your options open. Make yourself less available. It doesn't take that long to figure it out. It really doesn't. So let me know what you all think. Is it best to give a man an ultimatum, or maybe just wait? And then if it's not going your way, make yourself less available and just start exploring other options. He'll figure it out. When you make yourself less available and start exploring other options, even if the options is putting more time, it could be dating somebody else, or maybe just putting more time into yourself. Make yourself less available. He'll figure it out. Yeah, he will figure it out. Anyway, let me know what you all think. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share them out.